Okay.
Because you don't belong in this development.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your name?
Live here.
I'm not telling you.
They live here. I live here.
Okay, where do you live?
Why would we tell you any of this?
No, where do you live?
I'm not telling you.
Where do you live?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, not a problem. I'm going to call the gate and have you all arrested.
You're homeless.
Okay.
You do not deserve to be in here.
Okay.
What did we even do wrong?
Seriously? I have to wait for them 5 minutes while they're strung around the road.
No.
We were backing up for you.
Moving for you. And you say you're gonna hit us. Do you have a problem? Because I can get my grandfather. You're gonna hit us with a car?
Bring him out right now. Bring him out right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is because you're driving illegally.
Okay, but you're coming at 15-year-olds.
So you're gonna hit us with the car?
Because you're 15 years old, you could marry in Mississippi or Alabama.
This is not Mississippi or Alabama. This is Florida.
It's Florida.
Okay.
Sure.
So you're gonna hit us with the car?
Don't stick your hand out. Did you threaten a child?
I did not threaten her.
I have it on video.
You just said you're gonna
I
hit us
have it on video.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. We have it on camera.
Go inside.
I did not.
Let me see the video.
Okay, so y'all just heard that right there, and I actually found out about this on Facebook, and shout out to Nicole's View because that's who posted it on their page. So you have, okay, so you know we have the Karen. That's the Caucasian woman. With this one, you have a white male, and some people have now given him the title of Chad. We're going to call him Kyle. So we have this Kyle in this video, and they're in this very, I guess you can say, I want to say upscale neighborhood, because based on the background, the houses do look nice. In Florida, we're back in Florida. I feel like we haven't been in Florida in a while, but we're back there again. And he actually followed these teenage black girls home. And I don't know if all of them live there, but maybe they, you know, all friends, but one of them does live there. All because of the vehicle they were driving, saying they were driving illegally and they were walking in the street, basically trying to make all types of reasons to try to get them hemmed up. And he was like, I'm going to call the gate and have you arrested. And they was like, okay, call him. But that's the reason why they said it so standoffish like that, because he would look like a fool. Who do you think let them in, you dumbass? Who do you think let them in? I'm sure the people at the gate see them come in and out of there all the time, and they know that they live there. See, this is the thing right here, black people. Yes, I know sometimes, you know, you want to live in a nice area and everything like that. You want to get maybe out, like say you from the hood or anything like that. You want to get away from that. But guess what you're going to run into? You're going to leave one environment that's seemingly bad, and then you're going to enter into another world that will be bad for you because you might be the only person there. And you're going to probably run into people like this Kyle, this individual right here in this video. Now, I know I didn't play the video on here, but you heard the audio. What I'll do is I'll just leave the link to the video I'll pin it to the comments if you want to see it. It's a short video. It's only about 1 minute and 24 seconds long. But that's the kind of thing that you run into. It's like you can't really outrun it. It's like it's a double-edged sword for many of us. Not saying that's the circumstance for every black person, but there are cases like that. He said, you don't belong. When I tell you these individuals are not far removed from their ancestors, I'm not just talking about back during antebellum slavery. I'm talking about even during Jim Crow. This guy, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like he had to be born maybe no later than the 60s. So he already knows what kind of environment he's in and how he chooses to address certain people. And he addressed teenage girls, not a grown person, but teenagers. And what really blew me, or what struck me as very odd, and I think they might need to investigate this man for this, was when they said that they were teenagers. And he came back and he said, well, you know, that's considered to be an adult in Alabama or whatever state he said, and that you could legally marry. What would make a grown-ass man come out of his mouth with something like that to some teenage girls? unless that's something he is engaged in. Like, I would not put it past him if he is into child pornography. Allegedly. I'm not saying that he is. But for you to come out of your mouth and say something so random that had absolutely nothing to do with the situation that you caused, talking about in this state, you can be 15 and get married. That has nothing to do, and you're in Florida. Like, I got a question to him. How many trips to this particular state where it's legal to get married at 15 have you made? That's what I'd like to know. Because for him to know that and just throw that out there when it had nothing to do with the situation was just very odd and random. But, just something to sit on. And he just basically said that they were driving illegally and everything like that. He made a mountain out of a molehill. And if you heard it was a white lady in the background, they said, don't even worry about it, just ignore him. That tells me right there, they may have had issues with this guy in the past. Because the way she said it, it almost sounded like she was over it. Maybe she has encountered this before for another situation, and she already knows what he's like. And I wish the video didn't cut off at the end. This was the coming to Jesus moment for him. When one of the girls who lived there, she said, you know what? I'm going to go in the house and I'm going to go and get my grandfather. And he said, you do that. Tell him to come out here. Tell him to come out here. Listen, the Karen and Kyle voice irk me. You have the Karen voices like, well, you should have been. How dare you? Then you have Kyle. Well, bring it on. Bring it on. I swear those voices are annoying. Okay. They have to be like top 5 most annoying sounds ever. But anyway, she goes and she gets her grandfather. And I think they say that the article stated, from what I read, that the grandfather is like 62. Maybe. I'm not sure. But he came out there, and if you heard that voice, he came at that Kyle with that strong, stern voice, and y'all should have seen the way Kyle backed up. His face looked like he saw Great Caesar's ghost. And he tried to be buck with him, but the only reason the camera cut off is because the grandfather told the girls to go into the house. If he didn't tell them to go in the house, we probably would have saw more. A piece of me wanted granddad to knock his ass the fuck out. Lay him out right there on his lawn and have security come and scrape him up. Because this guy was dead wrong to follow these minor girls to wherever they were going, which was their house, and then question why were they there, and ask them what her name was. And they actually did put out her name. Her name was, I think, Breonna Hicks. Yeah, it's spelled the same way as Breonna Taylor. Ask her what her name is, and then ask her where did she live, and basically implied that he was going to follow her to her house. But she answered it all the right way. She said, I don't have to tell you my name. That's none of your business. I'm not telling you where I live. Because along with him saying about the married at 15 and him asking where she lived and her name, it comes off very creepish. That's why I said I would not be surprised if he has some stuff in his house. And y'all know what I mean when I say some stuff. But this goes back to this entitlement that palm-colored people as a collective have when it comes to how they deal and interact with black people, no matter what the age. And I could tell by her grandfather when he came outside, because they didn't pan to his face. You could see his body structure. For a guy who's in his 60s, that guy looks like he would have knocked his head off. Like, he looked like he's been through some you know what. And I wish he would, and I hope he did.